Welcome everyone to a special edition of Stepping Up to the Plate. It's our Milton High School football preview. And today we'll be meeting with the 6 captains here for Milton High School, the longest tenured assistants for Coach Steve Dembowski, and the man himself, the architect, Coach Dembowski, in his 9th season here at Brooksfield with the Wildcats. It was a wonderful season last year, 12-1. The team went all the way to Gillette Stadium. And we're looking forward to what this season will bring. And so we'll get with these guys next here on Stepping Up to the Plate. All right, we're joined now by 3 of the longest tenured assistants here on Coach Steve Dembowski's staff. Happy to be joined here on our football preview by Tom Lopez, offensive line coach, Tom Phelan, offensive assistant extraordinaire. He's the eyes in the sky for Coach Dembo. And of course, Dan Jarbeau, one of the smartest defensive coordinators in the Bay State League. Guys, congratulations from a great season last year. What a great run that was. There were so many things that this team had to contend with, and I think probably, Mike, you had to contend with the biggest question at offensive line with only one guy coming back, Drew Kokoris. But now it seems like that's become a position of strength with the guys you've been able to develop. Can you talk a little bit about, how that's come about?
Yes, this year we're blessed that we're returning 3 starters from last year's championship team, and but this year also, with the amount of depth and players that came out, I have some of the biggest groups from freshmen down up to seniors. We have, about 30 kids playing offensive line, which is great, which is usually the numbers have been down lately. So more kids are coming out and playing, which is great, which breeds more competition and us finding the best 5 to play on Fridays. And it's creating quite a good camp battle for a couple spots that we have open to replace the guys that left last year.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable what this team has been able to do. I mean, like I said, I thought maybe last year was probably one of your best coaching jobs in terms of getting these guys together. You started with the nucleus and Drew Kokoris, and then developed, Griffin White. You brought in Liam Faraday, who wound up being a hell of an offensive lineman, I thought.
Yep.
And of course you had Anderson Pettis-Reese, big road grader there, and Josh Riccardi too. So those guys coming back now, Josh and Griffin, and of course Anderson.
Yeah, I've been blessed with the Riccardi family. He's a legacy, just in their blood to be able to play good offensive guard. So having him come back is great. Anderson is, like you said, a road grader. He's a great player, and the beef in the middle is great. And Griffin is a standout on defense and offense. So pretty much anything you ask him to do on the football field, he'll probably succeed in. So it's great that he's with me. And then we're trying out a couple older guys for seniors. Zach Stowell came over, switching positions this year, and he's doing a great job at center along with Rowan McCullough. And then at the other tackle, Mudia and Mark Michalski are all battling for a spot. So there's a lot of depth, which is good, that we should be able to find a good 5, and everyone will help contribute.
That's fabulous. And we're joined now too by Tom Phelan. Tom, forever you've been the eyes in the sky there for Coach. You've been the guy that's been feeding him the info and stuff. But last year, a wealth of, weaponry that you guys had at your disposal with Owen McHugh, Jack Finnegan, the receiving core. Now, how does this team evolve with those guys, most of those guys having gone, to play college football too?
Yeah. We lost a lot of talent to, college football. Owens at Williams and Jack's at St. Lawrence. And those guys did a great job last year. But, on to this year, we have a bunch of juniors and seniors helping out offensively. Running backs, we have a stable this year. Luckily, we got 3 senior running backs that are all going to contribute. All look great in camp so far. And, I'm lucky enough to be in Coach Dembo's system, just like the quarterbacks are, and I get to help him out call plays on Friday night, and, it works out well. It
was interesting, Tommy, that this team also went pretty deep in 7v7, didn't they?
Yeah, they kind of piggybacked off what they did in the spring in the weight room. We had a 7-on-7 in the spring and the winter this year, which got a lot of younger guys, a lot of guys that haven't gotten reps and, varsity-like atmospheres, and they were able to compete this summer and work really hard in the weight room and then work out on the field. And 7-on-7s, they did an excellent job. These guys are privileged to be in an offense like Coach Dembowski's, and the development they have over the years with the great coaches we have on staff allowed them to be prepared and ready for this moment, and they're all taking advantage of it. And they did a great job this summer of competing and going and get it.
Tough to replace an Owen McHugh. In my book, it's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer in the Milton Hall of Fame, but
I think so.
But here you have Patrick Miller stepping into that void.
Yeah, he's been great. He's been a terrific leader the past 6 months or so. Once basketball season ended, he really worked on his body. He worked with the guys, worked with the receivers on the Sundays and Saturdays up at Brooks Field on his own, getting those guys together to get build a strong community with them and take it to the next level.
Awesome. Well, last year we were getting ready for the opener against Scituate and that gargantuan offensive line that they had. And I knew that must have been a great concern because defensively, Dan, the concern was, can they stand up? And I think that first series where they just kind of like mowed everyone down, there was a lot of pancaking going on. But the thing that impressed me the most was how this team stood in and how they reacted and used their strengths against that team. And at the end, I saw those big guys, hands on hips. They were gassed. They couldn't keep up with you guys.
That first drive was concerning. But, as the game went on, we had good depth last year, and I definitely think that helped us. And it's going to be a challenge again this year. It's a very tough place to play. And they're a physical team. So we've had a physical camp. We've had a good physical start to camp. Tom and I link up every day, or we try to at least. And, we got to work on the tackling. And, it's definitely we got a week and a half left, but we're making strides for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You got some guys coming back here. AJ Cicerone in the middle, Ferris Collins. Mm-hmm. And Ben Caledonia, who to me was a revelation last year and probably came up with the biggest play of the season at the end.
Yeah, for sure. Ben he's tremendous in coverage, but he's such a complete player. He's a great blitzer. He's great at the line of scrimmage with his hands. And he's got better. Credit to him. He got better and better as the season went on. And, tough kid too, because he gave up a big play earlier in the Hanover game, and then next time his number got called, cashed in probably the biggest interception, biggest turnover we've had in a long, long time. What an electrifying play!
Yeah.
And AJ put a lot of work into his body. He looks great. He's had a good camp so far. He's going to be he's one of our captains this year. We're going to lean on him for his leadership in the middle. We've got a bunch of kids ready to play, but we also have some camp battles going on. So it should be, it should be good these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and so this is a defense that's going to be predicated on toughness and speed, as it has been.
Definitely speed, and definitely toughness. It's we're not huge up front, but we do have some size. Anderson's great eating up blocks up front. Griffin White's been really tough to block up front for us. This past weekend at the Westwood scrimmage, he looked great. Yeah. And then we got guys that just need to be able to run stuff down, and we really got to tackle when we get there. Hopefully this year also we can get some more turnovers. If we can be turnover, if we can force turnovers and get the ball to the offense and plus positions, Steve always cashes in. So that's the name of the game.
All right. Before I let you go, I'm going to put you guys on the spot. I'll ask you for one name, you one name, and you one name. Who should Milton fans be on the lookout on defense for?
Oh, that's a good question. I'll go with Harry Hinkle.
Harry Hinkle?
He exploded last year in the playoffs for us, and he's stood out already at 2 positions in camp at corner and free safety. So I'll go with Harry.
22 in your roster. How about you, Tommy?
I have 2. Ronan Salmons on offense, playing wide, replacing his brother. And then on defense, I think there's going to be a big year out of Aiden Riley, man on the inside, and hopefully replacing some of the production of Liam McLaughlin this year.
Excellent. How about you on the offensive line?
I'd probably give 2 that you could see on defense as well, Rowan McCullough and Zachary Stowell. I think both of them are going to contribute on defense with Coach Phelan, a linebacker, on offensive line with me. And then you can never forget this is the last generation of a Riccardi playing guard. So you got to watch that because they're the best.
Unbelievable. Well, that does it here with the coaches, the longest tenured guys here in Milton. I want to thank Mike Lopez, Tommy Phelan, and Dan Jarbeau. And congratulations, gentlemen, on a season that was wonderful. A season to savor last year, to coin a phrase. But we look forward to more this year from the Wildcats.
Thank
All right,
you.
we'll be back. We'll be back with the captains of the Milton High football team. All right, we're back here at Brooks Field with the captains of the 2023 Milton High football team. And I'm going to have Well, I'll introduce him because there's only one mic, but that's AJ Cicerone, a linebacker, senior. Josh Riccardi, the last of his tribe here at Milton. And of course, Patrick Miller, your quarterback. Ben Caledonia, linebacker extraordinaire. Ferris Collins also, DB, linebacker, wide receiver. You do it all, right? All right, Swiss Army Blade right here. And of course, Griffin White, one of the offensive linemen, one of the stouts here up front. They're going to get it done this year for Milton High. And we'll go to, first off, Patrick. Obviously, the sentiment here is who's going to replace Owen McHugh, and you're the man. So does that bring any kind of pressure for you, or are you happy that you had that experience watching him play?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of both. I mean, there's a lot of pressure not only from Owen, but, you know, guys like Chase, McMiniman, Fallon. And then also, like, it's exciting, you know, learning from Juice, like, he did it all right. So he made it kind of easy for me. I'm just trying to do what he did.
Yeah. Well, you've been in the system now, and that's what Coach Dembowski has said, that, you know, you've been in this system for a while, and it's almost like second nature to you, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing this offense since 7th grade, and it's been a process, you know, year by year. We're trying to get better as a team, as each other. So I feel like this year, we've been here for so long, just might as well be explosive and win some games.
Now, I remember last year, Juice took you guys to the 7v7 championship. You got the team all the way there too, but I mean, it's no shame losing to Methuen. They had a pretty good team as well. Yeah. But what did you learn about your teammates, the team that you have coming back?
You know, one thing I learned is, you know, it's not really how well you do. It's a team sport. You know, anyone can throw 10 touchdowns and no interceptions, and you could lose all 10 games. You know, it's just team effort. You know, we came short, but it was a long summer. We worked hard, and I think that really set us up well for the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh, obviously a year ago, the big question really was about the offensive line. With only one returner in Drew Kokoris, you know, it was uncertain about how this team would come together up front, and it was going to be vital. But you guys did that, and you really came together. Now you're position of strength for this team. How important is it going to be in how, you know, protecting Patrick and establishing the run?
Yeah, that's going to be a huge thing because that's the only return on our offense is our 3 linemen. So we're hoping to be a strength and keep pressure away from Pat, let him do his thing.
Yeah. And what about the way that the guys have come up trying to fill, you know, Drew Kokoris, who's been like, as Coach Lopez said, the heartbeat of the offensive line.
Yeah, he was our the center. He was a 3-year starter, so he really always brought the energy. So that's what Coach was emphasizing, that we're gonna need to step up and bring the energy that we're losing with him.
Yeah, and so who are the guys that we should watch out for on the offensive line? Who are going to be the guys that you feel like are going to be people to watch?
Yeah, so we had the scrimmage the other day, so a bunch of people got reps and stuff. So, Mark Michalski, he's one guy. He's a little sick right now, so he was out, but he's one guy to look for at the tackle. And then we have Rowan McCullough and Zach Stoll fighting for the center spot.
Wow. So there's a lot of camp battles going on right now still, which is good because you want competition. Yeah, iron makes iron better, right? Exactly. AJ, you look at stout, my man. You look like you've been eating barbells all summer long.
Of course.
What does this mean now to have made the run that you guys made last year, starting off with a tough game against Scituate, and now you're going to have to go back down there to face them? They're a big, physical, deep offensive line, and I remember that first series, everyone got pancaked, it seemed like. But what stuck with me was the response that you guys had. You didn't give in. You stayed in and you gave it back to them. And then, of course, at the end, I thought I saw a lot of those guys, hands on hips, gassed. How important is it going to be now to kind of, you know, establish that, be powerful, be strong, be fast, and not give in to bigger opponents?
I mean, this season we got a lot of big boys on our team, a lot of guys that love the weight room, a lot of guys that love to hit too. At linebacker, we got me, Ben, Zach Stoll. I mean, those guys, we all love to hit. We all love to use our shoulder. And so Scituate does have some big boys up front, but we're all really quick. That's what really emphasizes our defense, is our speed on defense. So as long as we can read our keys, get to where we need to be, and stay low, I think those big boys won't be able to do much against our linebackers and our fast and strong D-line.
I mean, I saw that last year. It was you answered with your speed. They may have had the size, but you guys were putting pressure on them with your speed.
Yeah, definitely. We've never had much speed or much size in our team, but we've always been a very fast, very quick, physical team, and that's what really makes Milton who we are.
Well, Griffin and Anderson might, debate you on that point, right?
Griffin's quick.
Yeah. Oh, he almost caught that kid at the Super Bowl, you know. But at any rate, congratulations on a great season. We'll be talking here now to one of your, you know, defensive mates here, Ben Caledonia, who I maintain probably made the play of the season last year at Hanover. You know, how do you hope to build upon that, Ben, you know, coming back here? And I noticed you're going to be wearing a new number, 9. Talk about that.
So basically, KJ, you know, captain last year. I looked up to him since my freshman year. You know, I've been a big buddy. He's been a big inspiration for me. So he handed the number down to me.
Nice.
And Graham actually handed the number down to him. So it's kind of been a thing. So I'll probably give it to one of the guys back there.
Nice. So we're going to have a little tradition here, the tradition of the 9. That's going to be awesome.
KJ's dad came up to me and said, yeah, 9's always been a captain, so best of luck to you.
Absolutely.
I guess it happens.
Pretty awesome. So whoever gets to wear it, you got to give it to a guy who looks like he's going to be a captain.
Yeah, a guy who likes to compete.
Yeah. Well, you've been that guy. I mean, tell me about what you like about this team coming forward after the experience you guys have had a year ago.
What I love about this team is a brotherhood. I mean, I can say that all of these guys I've been friends with since I was in elementary school, and we've really brought a bond together to this team. And like you can see it outside, like we all hang out and just do everything together, like go get food with each other, just simple stuff like that. And you know, that can really show on the field too. I mean, I can rely on every single one of my teammates to make a play, make a big play when they need to, or just get blocked, but you know, they're still there filling their gap so someone else can make a play.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ferris Collins was a guy who made a couple plays last year. I remember the interception at Natick. One of the big ones there. You guys were like all over that quarterback last year. But Ferris, what about the experience of walking into Gillette Stadium last year? Do you think that kind of emboldened this team with the championship culture now? You've had a winning culture, but now it seems like you've been exposed to what it is to be in a championship culture.
Yeah, I definitely think so. When we walked in and saw those bright lights and that big crowd and huge stadium, like it really like gave us the confidence we need, and I think it'll carry over to this season like really well and help us have that championship mentality to get back to this year.
Yeah, and it starts with Scituate. It's a tough place to play. Got some tough non-conference opponents down in Taunton, and of course, who else am I missing? It's going to be Holliston, yeah. And Walpole's another big rival for you guys. You're going to be at their place. Yeah, Griff, talk a little bit about that. I mean, the rivalries that you guys have maintained and established here. What is the one that gets you guys going the most? I mean, apart from Braintree, maybe.
I mean, all throughout when I was growing up in football, it was always been Natick, and last year, you know, it was really good feeling just to go out there and blow it out. We took it to them. It was good, but now we're hoping for bigger and better things every year.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so now that you guys are all captains now, and as Ben said, you established that brotherhood. You know, do you feel that here on the team, and how do you bring to bear your experiences and as a leader now?
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's always good to love each other and be there for each other. It's good. It's good to look down on the other people, like look down, but be there for them and teach them. You know,
right?
Exactly, technique and stuff. You know, it means a lot.
Who have you taken under your wing?
No one yet. You know, we're looking for another defensive end spot on the left side.
To replace Liam?
Yep. So that's a big,
that's irreplaceable.
big shoes to fill there. So
yeah, big Liam.
It's always good to help everyone out. You know, it's good to have competition. You know.
You didn't have
Just
a
like
fifth year of eligibility.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So what excites you now about the start of this season?
It's always been Scituate. You know, it's good to. It's gonna be just like last year. You know, the biggest competition. Yeah. It's good to go down there, and it's gonna be harder for us, but we like the adversity.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
And it's a bus ride, and you guys hope to take some in the postseason, right?
Of course.
Absolutely. Yeah. All righty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's your 2023 Milton High School football captains. We want to thank them for joining us here on Stepping Up to the Plate. AJ Cicerone, Josh Riccardi, Patrick Miller, Ben Caledonia, of course, Ferris Collins and Griffin White. Gentlemen, good luck to you this season. All Milton will be rooting for you. And we're back here at Brooks Field, where we're joined by none other than the architect of this program, Steve Dembowski. Steve,
Mike.
Thanks very much for joining us here on this football preview here for Milton Access TV. And what a great season last year was. I mean, I know it didn't end the way you had hoped, but it was an extraordinary season nonetheless, getting to Gillette for the first time with some extraordinary performances by, Owen McHugh and Jack Finnegan, and of course, everyone up and down the lineup. And I'll ask you right off the bat, what did you draw upon that experience, and how do you hope to maybe build upon that going forward here this season?
It was a great experience, a group of kids that had worked hard throughout their careers in high school and even before that in Milton youth football and cheer. And, they had put the time into it and worked hard. And I think our group this year is kind of following in that same that same type of pattern, and the work is coming together.
Yeah, I think that the most important thing, Stephen, you can, disagree or agree, is that it seems like what that season did was establish a championship culture in this program. You had a winning culture, but now it seems more like it's championship driven, isn't it?
Oh, that's kind of a high mark. We've won the league title in the Bay State Harrogate for I think 6 of 8 years, and the staff has been together, and so these kids have a level of success that they want to get to, and a goal to aim for, which is winning the league, getting into the playoffs. It's great when you have home playoff games in the first 2 rounds to get you to the Final Four. I think they just took the final steps. We were really good on defense last year for most of the year. We took care of the ball. Yeah. Our special teams were fantastic, mostly behind Jack Finnegan's leg. Yeah. He could kick off, punt, or extra points and field goals were really strong, and that gave us field position. And Owen took care of the ball along with the rest of the backs, and it was just a great season to be a Wildcat, and we're kind of past it now, and we told the kids that what we did last year is only going to serve as experience, but it won't give us any head start in any game, and we need to continue to build every day to get better at this point.
Absolutely. And now you're leaning upon a new crop of leaders, and can you talk a little bit about those guys who are going to be stepping into that board?
Yeah. We have a great senior class. They're student athletes. They play multiple sports. It was one of the hardest years to select captains in this group because there were so many strong candidates. We have a lot of 4.0 plus guys on the academic chart. A lot of guys that want to play college football and pair it with academics, which is kind of following in the role of some of our players from last year. Yeah. And we did 3 different votes. They were always so close that we finally took our last vote last Friday.
Wow.
Before the scrimmage, and it was so close that we went with 6 guys. So seniors, so all seniors: Patrick Miller, our quarterback, defensive back from last year; Ben Caledonia, outside linebacker, special teams guy; AJ Cicerone, inside linebacker, running back; Ferris Collins, defensive back, wide receiver; and then Griffin White, 2-way tackle for us, really a productive player last year; and Josh Riccardi, another returning offensive lineman at guard. And those guys kind of rose from the top, but we have a great group, and we're going to have leaders all over the place.
It's going to be essential to have that with the season and the schedule you're going to be, undertaking on here, beginning with Scituate, the season opener at Scituate on September 7th. Is it still the 7th?
I think it's the 8th. Friday the 8th.
Yeah. I think the home opener here is going to be moved, I understand, to Thursday.
To Thursday for Jewish holidays
against Framingham.
Yeah. Right. So, it's gonna be upon us quickly after this week. We're gonna have the game scrimmage with Stoughton on Friday night here at 7:00, and we're really just looking forward to getting better every day. The kids finally have tape to watch of themselves from the scrimmage, and there's a lot of positives and obviously some things that need to be tightened up as we go.
Yeah. So Steve, I'll ask you this in closing: what excites you about doing this? About now in your 9th season here at Milton High, what is it that drives you?
I think the fact that our older players understand what it takes to win, and that we have a great group of leaders in that class. As I said, I'm really proud that there's so many student athletes in the senior class, and they've excelled in all levels of performance in the building. And we're hoping that leadership carries on to the field and sets the example for the future classes.
Excellent. All righty. Well, we thank you, Steve. We want to thank you, and we want to invite all of you guys in Wildcat Nation to come out to the season opener. It'll be at Scituate. and on the 8th, and then the home opener on Thursday here at Brooks Field. And that'll do it for us here at Stepping Up to the Plate, our special edition of Football Preview. We want to thank Coach Steve Dembowski. Thank you, Steve, and to everyone who joined us here today. We look forward to seeing you out here on Brooks Field. So long, everybody.